Hey everybody, it's April checking in once again. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're listening to this. I wanted to talk a little bit today about Christian gaslighting or religious people gaslighting. What is gaslighting? When you know the truth about something and you deliberately tell somebody the opposite of the truth to avoid responsibility for something bad you did. In other words, if I step on your toe and you say, ouch, I will immediately tell you it was your fault that I stepped on your toe because you were in my way. Or you made me so angry that I had to step on your toe and it's your fault. You created this problem because I couldn't be at fault for stepping on your toe. I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to take it back. I really did it on purpose, and I want to now blame you for it instead of coming clean. So, it's like that in every area, in every part of the world, every religion, where people take advantage of their manipulation skills to get out of taking responsibility for some sin they did against somebody or some offense. Now, in the Christian genre, it takes on a special twist because now you can use scriptures. Now you can use religious rules and ordinances in order to get out of taking responsibility for hurting people. It sounds bad, right? Yeah, it's pretty bad because in this genre, if you are a leader, have the responsibility for leading sheep. You are supposed to be there for the well-being and the growth of the sheep if you are part of the fivefold ministry, beginning with apostles on down to teachers. You have a mandate to feed the people for the edification of the people. That's what the offices are for. That's what the gifts that God gave you was for. Edify the people. So if instead of edifying the people, you are randomly attacking them verbally, spiritually, by any other means with the goal of controlling their actions and words, okay, and then not taking responsibility, you're going to have to come into an account with the Most High God at some point for what you have been doing. Okay, my example. Let's say I have a platform, and on this platform, I have lots of people who I teach. I am a teacher. I have a Sunday school class or whatever, Wednesday night Bible study class or whatever. And the people under me all do everything that I want them to do except one person. This one person, they may like be refusing to bring notebook paper or some small instruction I had given or whatever. So at that point, I can choose to ignore the notebook paper not being there, or I can choose to use my platform because we're in a setting where I have a microphone and no one else does. I'm standing, everyone else is sitting. So I can say things, but they can't say anything back to me. And with that small amount of power, I can choose to talk about the person's family without saying their name. I can choose to talk about their faults, their flaws. I can point out anything I know that's wrong with them, and it's magnified if I have prophetic giftings because now I can expose anything that God has allowed me to see about their life, calling, career, children. I can expose that without saying their name, and they'll know, if no one else does, that I'm talking about them. It's a direct attack. It's a direct attack. Pointing out people's flaws without a means to redeem, condemning without redeeming, is not from God. It is satanic. It is an attack. It is a attempt to control another person, and control is not from God either. Self-control is from God. You're supposed to control yourself, not another person. If your goal is to control another person, you're already in satanic realm. So at that point, if I choose to talk about that person on my platform and knowing that they cannot talk back, okay, I am in a bad place already. Now, after that, if that person chooses later to feel offended, to be upset, to express that to their family or friends, if they're upset about it because they know I was talking about them, even if other people around them don't know, they know because it was a dart, it was an arrow aimed directly at that person, okay? So if I prophetically hear them talking about me, if I feel it, or if somebody comes back physically and tells me, at that point I can make another decision. I could go to them and to God and be like, I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have done that to you. I will find another subject based on, what God is telling me, not attack you anymore. I'm so sorry. I could choose to do that. I could choose to be quiet and let it pass. Or I can choose to do number 3, gaslighting. In that instance, I would get back on my platform. Okay? Once again, the balance of power is in my favor as long as everyone can hear me, but they can't talk back to me. So I can use that platform to now tell the person that offense is a demon. Okay? And after I attacked them becoming upset is from the devil, and they are the person who is at fault. Do you see how that's the same as the person stepping on the other person's toe and then blaming them? Now, I have offended this brother. I have talked about his mama. I have talked about deep secret things that God told me, and no one else knew in the immediate vicinity, but he knew I was talking about him. It was a direct attack to upset and offend him because he didn't do what I wanted. Okay, all of it is in the satanic realm. None of this is from God. This is not godly correction. If it were, it wouldn't feel like that to him, But once the gaslighting starts, now it becomes a matter of pride, because for the person who's gaslighting to take back everything they've already done and start over again, it would take a lot of humility. I would have to admit that I threw the arrows in the first place, and it was because I was angry because the person didn't do what I wanted. And then I would have to admit that it was not their fault that they felt upset after I attacked them. Like the whole thing becomes like very humbling to the person who wants to repent from that and fix the actual relationship. At that point, it becomes a miracle from heaven if you two can become good friends again or become really close. Like, only the Most High could fix that now, unless the other person humbles themselves all the way to fix it. And the likelihood of that happening when they feel like that they're in authority over you is not very likely. So I would admonish anybody in the fivefold ministry who has gifts and things like that to especially be careful not to use your platform to throw darts and arrows at people who you cannot control. I think that it is a bigger challenge and a more godly taking up to use self control and decide what you are going to do with you, because you cannot control other adults. I mean, to a certain degree, maybe. But even a group of children are going to stray here and there, and people are called sheep for a reason. Like it is written, like sheep, we have all gone astray, each one to his own way. Like people tend to do like absent-minded, weird things once and again, you know? And people tend to be a little random once in a while, you know? And just overlooking that and loving them, unless it's something really detrimental or that God is pointing out, is really a key element in refusing to attack the sheep, refusing to stab and throw arrows and darts at the sheep, and instead feeding them, nurturing them, keeping them on the straight and narrow about things that matter, like sin. Yeah, that's all I have to say right now. I'll talk to you guys later, and I love you. Bye.